Hey, what's good guys? Welcome back to another video. Funnily enough, the trade that I called yesterday is still en route to playing out so far. Like the original entry, if you guys remember, like I kind of drew this entry out, the stop loss and the target. Somehow overnight we came all the way back to the entry, and currently I think just based on looking at the market so far, the plan is going to be relatively similar to what we had yesterday. I'm going to still break it down though, so stick around. Like I'm going to break down the daily setup for Bitcoin and the news events that you should watch out for today. Now, before we get into it, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Shwen, and for the past year and a half, I've been making these daily videos just calling out trades on Bitcoin. And so far, I've kind of publicly documented the results. And yeah, we've got overall roughly a 78% win rate, especially in 2025. And by the way, I don't know if you guys have been like following me on Twitter and seeing all of the wins that we've been posting. Like, yeah, we've got some of the best results in the game when it comes to just getting people funded, and from just getting people from zero to basically having all of the skills and abilities to go full-time into trading if they want to. Now, I'm not going to show this too much in the video, but I think the results speaks for themselves. I think over the last 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks, I've been posting a win from a student every single day. And like, yeah, show me another trading program where you have this many people like just winning. Like, case in point, we have about 60 students inside bootcamp. 28 of them are funded. Like funded. That's a 50% success rate. And inside Blueprint, we have like 20 or 30, actually, yeah, 30 other people inside Blueprint that are funded. Again, this stuff works. You've watched my videos. Chances are you've taken a couple of trades that I've called before, and you know that this is something that works. Not only like a one-time thing, but consistently. Overall, it makes more money than it loses. And if you'd like to learn that for yourself, feel free to click the first link in the description box below. But otherwise, let's get into the video. Now, kicking things off on Bitcoin, we finally have another bullish daily bias. But as I've already kind of explained from yesterday, this is going to be a little bit misleading because overall, yes, we have a bullish weekly bias, right? Last week, we managed to close bullish. Yes, I understand that. But here's the problem that you're dealing with. Right now, this entire block, right? Because of this weekly candle close from 2 weeks ago, this entire block here is now considered resistance, right? If you don't know what this is a bearish order block. And when it comes to bearish order blocks, you actually expect price to retrace back into them in order to give you a continuation back towards the downside. And in terms of the downside, what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at this liquidity point over here, all the way down at $49,000, or like, yeah, around $49,000. So I'd say, like, until we get to 50K, I've been saying this for, I don't think my stance has changed ever since like December of last year, maybe November. Yeah, November. It hasn't changed since last year. Even if you just look back at my videos from back then, like I was one of the only ones who was saying like, hey, it's over. Not because I think so, not because like I'm trying to predict the markets, but simply because like like the signs are clear at the time. Not only did I tell you about this one, I also told you about this one, where once we came back into the fair value gap, it's over. Like you continue to sell, and not only that. Even just a few weeks ago, like Clarence dropped the receipts. Like I was again one of the only people that was like telling you, hey, we're back into the zone. We are overall bearish. Like this is not some sort of recovery. You continue to sell. And you sell. To everyone that listened, congratulations, you're out money. Case in point, we're one of the most profitable channels out there. And for now, it's not to say, like, I'm not saying just because I was right on like these 3 other occasions means that I'm going to be right here. I'm not even trying to be right. For the most part, like I would love for nothing else than for Bitcoin to, just go for a full on reversal and to like the bull market resumes. I would love that because I am a crypto bro at heart and I have bags. But the truth is, when you are a trader, right, one of the best skills that you can have as a trader is to remain objective about what the market is showing you. In a sense where you're not trying to predict, you're simply trying to listen what the market is trying to tell you. And in this case right here, not only is market structure incredibly bearish, like high low, and boom, right? Boom. Major market structure is broken. Order flow is incredibly bearish, and all signs point to a bearish direction. And when you have a bearish direction, you got to think, right? Every time the market goes up or down, there is always some sort of objective that the market is reaching for. Of course, if you're bullish, that means you're reaching for prior sell-side liquidity. And if you're bearish, you're going to go for prior sell-side liquidity. If you're bullish, you're going to go for buy-side liquidity. Either way, there is always an objective, and this seems to be the most reasonable objective at the moment. And I was already talking about it all the way from back here. The move is not over, and right now, you already know the drill. When you are in a bearish trend, when you come back into prior PD arrays, such as this bearish order block right here, you look to sell in order to get further continuation towards the downside. As to when that will happen, that's a completely different story because I don't know. And it's not my job to know either. I don't want to know either. All I know is that as long as we are remaining in a bearish trend and we are coming back into resistance, I'm going to be building on shorts. Now, I'm not going to make calls on like, oh, yeah, I think price is going to go during summer. Yeah, it's going to go down. Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter either. So yeah, take it or leave it. This is just me sharing a bit of track record as to potentially why you should listen to me. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves here. Overall, we understand that the weekly bias is bearish, which also means this applies into the daily bias as well, because we are expecting some sort of a dump from this point onwards. And this is the scenario that is playing out exactly the way that I was talking about before yesterday as well, where Monday and Tuesday we're very likely to see some sort of a pump into this resistance zone right here. This is a daily fair value gap for those of you who don't know what this is. And because tomorrow is Wednesday, and tomorrow we have federal funds rate, basically the Federal Reserve is going to make an announcement on the overall interest rates. And by the way, if you are unfamiliar with the current macroeconomic background or like this situation right now, the TLDR is that inflation is really high thanks to the war and thanks to oil. Again, this is a huge oversimplification, but this is kind of the 80-20 of what you need to know. Inflation's really high. Inflation's really high. The Federal Reserve is not able to lower interest rates because, well, interest rates, inflation, they kind of are, inversely correlated assets where, well, not even assets, they're inversely correlated data points where the higher inflation is, like, usually interest rates tend to go up with it so that you can bring inflation down. The risk assets like Bitcoin and the S&P 500 or like the stock market, they prefer conditions where interest rates are low, because that means, the market is a lot more favoring the market will favor risk assets a lot more. So right now, inflation is really high. We all have an idea as to what is going to go down tomorrow in terms of the federal funds rate. And let me tell you, odds are, it's not going to be lowering interest rates. If anything, either interest rates are going to get maintained or they might hint at some sort of an interest rate hike in order to bring down inflation. What does that mean for Bitcoin? It tells you that in terms of the macroeconomic environment, you are favoring shorts, right? It is favoring Bitcoin dumps. So not only is price action telling you the same story, but in terms of the overall macro fundamentals, whatever, it is also telling you the same story. And the fact that, let me go into news today, and you'll understand that both Monday and Tuesday, which is yesterday and today, we have no news, absolutely zero news, which means that there is not much of a reason for the market to give you the quote-unquote true move. And essentially expect a lot of volatility tomorrow, and expect Monday and Tuesday this week to be more of a setup week. And this is not even a pattern that's only played out once or twice before. I've been making these videos for a year and a half or so, and this is a pattern that we've seen time and time and time again. It is no surprise that the market is very manipulative, and I don't know who's controlling the markets. I'm not going to jump into any controversial theories or whatever, but you cannot deny that Monday, Tuesday, setup day, followed by Wednesday, potentially big dump, right? We're gonna navigate this tomorrow together. So subscribe if you want to continue getting these videos. But overall, today we're going to be looking for a long, but it is we're not going to be holding all the way to 70,000 or whatever. It's more of okay, we're long today because the market is telling us that the intraday signal is long, but I'm going to be ready at any point in time to flip my bias towards the short side because I understand where I am in terms of the higher time frame. I apologize that this took about 10 minutes to get to the point, but to be fair, if I didn't share the necessary backstory and the necessary context earlier, you wouldn't understand this either. So do pardon me for that, but now I can finally get into, according to some of you, the point, right? The trade setup. Well, in this case, it's going to be super straightforward. In terms of in terms of the daily bias, you're already bullish. So now, in terms of the hourly chart, are we in bullish order flow? Clearly we are. And in fact, just what is this? About an hour ago, right? An hour ago, we finally managed to get a bullish CSD above this line right here. On the very next hourly candle, you came to retest this line, and so far you're pumping. That's a really good sign. It means that this now is a new potential bullish order. No, this is not even a potential bullish order block anymore. This is a new bullish order block that you're going to be trading from for the rest of today. Now, I cannot guarantee that price is going to retrace back into this because this move happened at 3 a.m. New York, which is the London kill zone. This is also a high probability time window for the day, which means that chances are you may not return back to this area. But if you do, there's going to be a clear PD rate that you can take advantage of, which is this fair value gap right here, starting at 66,260. So then you retrace back into here. This is where you place your entry, this is where you place your stop, and this is where you place your TP. It easily gives you a 2R trade. But by the time you watch this video, if you do not show any indications of, where price is not showing any indications of coming back down, then the setup is also quite clear, where I'm going to shout out somebody else, Crypto Hustler. Shout out to Justin. I see you almost every post that I make on X. I appreciate the support. To any of you guys, join in the conversation as well. I know I post a lot of tweets, but it's so much more fun, honestly, if you guys are interacting. It doesn't feel like I'm just speaking out into the void, So yeah, Crypto Hustler, the reason why I bring this up is that he has basically mastered the art of momentum trading, which is kind of something I talk a lot about on this channel. So essentially, as long as bullish order flow is maintained on the 5-minute chart, all you need, for example, is for new order blocks to form, right? The moment this candle closes here, that is a new order block. You retrace back into it, stop loss here, entry here, and you take profit at 2R. Kind of like what Crypto Hustler was doing, right? Justin, I don't know what to call you. But essentially, as the new order block is formed, right? On this candle right here, that is when the order block is confirmed, and boom, you literally enter, you place a stop underneath the order block, and you target for 2R. This is a lot more profitable than you think it is. And like essentially, it is the art of simply buying higher and selling higher. Because if we understand that everything else is bullish, everything else is pointing in the bullish direction, and we have a clear target, as long as you watch this video by the time, like before that target is hit, and for example, right now, with this new candle close here, this is now a new bullish order block. Retrace, kabang, right? Just take profit at 2R, 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 you'll be surprised, right? So many people that I meet, especially beginners, especially like the more like perfectionist type of people, they're always trying to justify things to themselves like, oh, I missed the, the perfect bottom entry, so like, oh, I'm too late. But bro, if you're gonna go there, why would you willingly miss out on this entire move here just because you missed like the first entry? And heck, like let me even show you something different. Assuming you missed the first entry, this initial entry, which is fantastic by the way, this was the entry that I called yesterday. This is 3.9R, right? If I were to enter here, place my stop here, place my target there, I get a maximum potential risk to reward of 4R. Now, let me do the same with this entry right here, which is a momentum trade, which is, to some people, this would be, oh, lower quality. Oh, it's a lower time frame. So, oh, it's not that good. Bro, take a look at this. 1 whole R. And this is most likely going to take less than half the amount of time compared to this bigger entry over here. Okay, hopefully that debunks the myth that you do not need to be early. And always, as long as you have a confirmed move, that you can always jump in. And so at this point, I think you guys have a pretty good, clear idea of what to do. If I am jumping into a trade today, you know for sure that I'm going to be posting it on X. Feel free to click the description box below if you haven't followed me there already. Every trade I take, I will be posting it on X just to kind of like show you what I think about the markets at certain times, or if you guys just want to follow along on my entries. It's over there. It's not gated behind some signals groups or whatever. It is all on Twitter. But otherwise, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow or later on Twitter, and safe trading. Ciao, ciao.